Welcome back to the channel. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about the game against Sweden, against the Netherlands, Ivory Coast against Germany, and the last but not the least, we're going to talk about Japan against Tunisia. It was an incredible game, also a very disappointing game. Let me start with the Netherlands against Sweden. I thought after the game that the Swedish had against Tunisia, beating them a goal 4-1, they were going to put on a fight against the Netherlands, but they did nothing. It was a shambolic, very disgraceful display from the Swedish. Losing 5-1 against the Netherlands was not something that I expected to see. Brace from Côte and Bobby, and that was not something that should have happened. But it's football. I expected better. Alanga did get a goal in the game, late in the game, but that never sparked anything. And knowing that Gakpo has actually struggled throughout the season with Liverpool, but he was able to shine in the game. I think he plays better with the Netherlands than he does with the Liverpool team, or maybe it was just an overall situation that they had, because the season that he had with Liverpool was disastrous as well, generally. But Bobby has been very good for Sunderland. He has the strength, he has the pace. You can hardly take him off the ball, and they show that. So Netherlands has won. They drew against Japan and they won against Sweden. Impressive. They are topping the group right now. So they showed a good sign, but again, the draw against Japan wasn't something I expected. I expected them to beat Japan. They're still not a contender for me. They're not one of those people I think might win the competition. They're just, participating in the ball. You never know. Maybe they'll take confidence from this one, and they will go on and play better and win the game when they play against. It's going to be a challenging game against their next opponent, but I think they've done better. I expect that was good game. Coleman. The coaching from Coleman was good. The substitution was good as well. The starting 11 were impressive. So I'm impressed with what they did. I'm very disappointed with Sweden. Isaac was not I think he's the most expensive player with a British record, and he didn't put up a fight at all. Generally, the Swedish team were poor. Extremely poor, to say the least. For lack of better word, they were shambolic. Graham Potter has to do something better in the next game that they play. As for Ivory Coast against Germany, I'll say it was a slightly 55-45 in terms of ball possession. Ivory Coast took the first goal from Kesse, but Germany experience came into play. This is where you need experience. This is where you need maturity. This is where you need to learn how to keep a game, maintain the game, and maintain the scores. You can see after the final whistle, they were devastated because they felt they should have won the game. They did really, really well. Ivory Coast did really, really well to win the game, but the German experience came into play and they won the game 2-1. So it was. I would say it's not a fair result, but football is not a fair game. You might play well but lose, but I think it was a very, very competitive game. And thank you to Ivory Coast. They did represent the continent very well. I'm proud of the Ivorians. They played their heart out. They gave everything they could give. They almost made history by qualifying for the group stages. I think they will. If they play the same way they played, by tightening up a bit and not getting tired at the end of the game, they will probably qualify for the group stage round of 30. Sorry, not the group stage, round of 32. I see them doing that. Last but not the least is the very disappointing Tunis. They've been the most shambolic team so far. Even Cape Verde, they're a better nation than Cape Verde. Cape Verde and drew against Spain. Caracas, that's a nation of 150 people. I can't even pronounce that correctly. Also drew against Ecuador, which I expected them to win. So speaking of that, Tunisia has been, they lost 4-1 in their opening game and also 4-0 against Japan, and they sacked their coach immediately after that game, thinking that was going to change anything. As a matter of fact, it made it worse. At least they scored one in the previous game, and this time they scored nothing. So Tunisia has been terrible. They've been bad, very bad. They should just come home. They should just forfeit the last game because they're going to lose the last game as well. They've been a disgrace to watch. But it's what it is. I don't know why they were so poor. They're a very strong footballing nation. I expected them to do better, but they're not. They offered nothing. There was no charisma. There was no pace. There was no energy. They were just a passerby. It's like, oh, we qualified for the World Cup. That is it. We're more than happy to be there in the World Cup. No, they should play better than what they did. Fight at least. Show some energy. Show some pace. Show some willingness to go beyond. Take the game to Japan. Japan is not that good. They're not a footballing nation. Tunisia is more of a footballing nation than the Japanese are. Tunisia has a very good history of playing football. I don't know why they just let it go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. This is a World Cup, the greatest game in the planet. No other game come closer, no other competition come closer than the World Cup. So it was a good game overall. I'm looking forward to today's game. After the game, I'll bring you the analysis of the game as well. So just drop your comment, drop me a comment below and tell me what you think about the game, or who you think might win the World Cup. Is the World Cup meeting your expectation? Is it better than what you thought? Is this something that you feel has the critics have been saying that it was a boring game? For me, the first round of the World Cup competition has been boring, but the second round game has been quite impressive. I've been very impressed with the goals, especially with the US team and the first game the British had. Again, the US has played pretty well, beating 4-1 scoreline and 2-0 against Australia was very, very impressive. They did that without Pulisic in the game, so I was impressed with the game. So guys, again, don't forget to drop your comment below, like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next game.